Hey, so this is episode 30 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about your right to an accurate credit report. So, if you guys don't know, our credit reports have to be 100% accurate and 100% complete. So, I talked to you guys about this a lot and how to fill out the dispute letters and how to find these different inaccuracies and the incomplete data. But it has to be 100% accurate and 100% complete. And this is part of our FCRA rights, you guys. So, that's a federal law. Definitely make sure you guys Google it to learn more about the FCRA rights, but that is a right that we have. We also have a right saying that they have to make sure that they have reasonable procedures for gathering, maintaining, distributing our information. And these are for anybody that's a credit report agency. So TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and also those smaller bureaus, LexisNexis, SageStream, those companies have to make sure that they abide by this also. So they have to make sure that they have reasonable procedures. Okay. And again, they have to ensure the accuracy and completeness of the information that is on our credit reports. So if you guys have incomplete data, like your payment history, they'll say March 2022, you were late, and then you'll see in April they don't have anything, but in June they'll say you're late again, but again in April they don't have anything. That's incomplete data, and a lot of times you can look in your payment history and you can find a lot of incomplete data, and if they refuse to remove it or if they don't remove it in time, that account have to be removed from your credit reports. Now, in a previous episode, I told you guys about how I had to sue a collection agency, and I told you all that they have state laws and they have federal laws. And I put both state and federal laws on my case. But now I know that I should only put those state laws on there because they're very similar. We have state laws and we have federal laws that can protect us. When you put federal laws on there, they're going to remove you to federal court. And I just rather just stick to the state because a lot of times they'll settle out with you anyway in the state court. But understand you do have state laws. So most states have similar laws to the FCRA. So definitely look them up. You can just Google, Florida state laws, FCRA. You can do that, or credit report, and you can see all those different laws. Now, under the FCRA, we have a right to dispute the accuracy and completeness of this information. So any item that's on your credit report, whether it's a positive account or a negative account. So whether it's a credit card that you have right now, you're in good standing with, or it's a credit card that you did not pay off that's charged off, you have a right to dispute this account that's on your credit reports. Now, I usually tell people dispute your inaccurate accounts. I wouldn't fight too much with account that's like an account that you have right now, unless it's a balance and it's messing with your utilization, or you're trying to get a loan and they're showing a balance and you need that to be zero to help with your debt to income ratio. I would kind of leave them alone. But definitely understand that you have a right to dispute based off of the FCRA. Now, understand that this is not, again, only for your inaccurate accounts. If you want to double back and, fight with those accounts that you have an account with right now and that's accurate, not accurate, but account that's current, then you can do that. But these are some rights that we have to make sure that we have 100% accurate credit reports, even the dates, you guys, the date open, the date closed, the last date of activity, which is a very, very good one, you guys. We're going to talk about that in the next episode. All of these different things have to be 100% correct. And if it's not, they had to remove it. It had to be 100% accurate. Episode 31 of Credit 101. My name is Rickita. We're going to talk about how long accounts can stay on your credit reports. So remember, there are different accounts on your credit reports, and everyone have different amounts of time that can actually stay on your credit reports. For example, we have bankruptcies. So bankruptcies can stay on your credit reports up to 10 years. Now, it's going to be dependent on your bankruptcy, which one you actually have, on how long you can stay. But Chapter 7 bankruptcies can stay on your credit reports for 10 years. Also, Chapter 13 can stay on there for 7 years. A rule of thumb is this: if you guys have accounts, or you listed on your bankruptcy and you're actually paying some of them off, or you're paying towards that bankruptcy, just know in 7 years it has to be deleted from your credit reports. Okay, so keep that in mind when it comes down to bankruptcies. But don't forget, Chapter 7 bankruptcies, you're not paying anything. You're not paying on those debts, so it's going to take up to 10 years for that to be removed from your credit reports. You can still send out dispute letters to remove it, but just by yourself, not doing anything about it, 10 years, okay? Now, most criminal records, that includes indictments and arrests, they can stay on your credit reports up to 7 years or until the statute of limitations. So those are going to be a little bit different. It can be longer, whichever one is longer. The statute of limitations are 7 years. That's how long those criminal records can stay. Those delinquent accounts that you have, they're going to stay on there 7 years after the scheduled last payment before they became delinquent. So let me give you an example of that, because people like, what is that? And that's usually your last data activity. That's what I usually tell people that is your last data activities. And then also accounts that were charged off or collections, they are the same. Okay, so creditors must make sure that they tell the credit bureaus the last data activity within 90 days of is being reported as a charge off. So make sure that your account has the correct last data activity with the creditor, because a lot of times if they sell it to a collection agency, they need to have that date too, because the collection agency is still on the same time. So that 7-year period begins 180 days after the first missed payment. So say if you were to have a missed payment January 2022, and you didn't make any more payments after that, they can report this account until July 2029, because they have to wait the 180 days, which is basically 6 months. They wait the 6 months, and then they do 7 years after that. Okay, but remember, this is the first day that you missed your payment. So say if you missed your payment, it's September right now, you missed your, or it's going to be October when you see this. In October, you missed payment, right? You missed your payment in October, then that means that from that time on, that was your last day of activity, basically. The first day that you became delinquent, and you have not paid ever since then, because you pay again, that date is going to move back now. So, and that was the date that you had a scheduled payment that you were supposed to pay. Okay, so your credit card, you were supposed to pay October 1st, you didn't pay it, that was your last day of activity, especially if you didn't pay it after that at all. That's your last day of activity. They have to wait 6 months after that. And then after that 6 months, after that, it's usually charged off. And then after it's charged off, you got 7 months from there. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you need to learn like what's the last day of activity. And you're going to see that a lot of collection agencies, when you look on Identity IQ, go ahead and check that out. It's a 7-day $1 trial. They'll give you all 3 of your credit reports. They'll let you know your last data activity on there. You'll see that a lot of collection agencies are saying that your last data activity, which is the first day that you became delinquent, is actually the month that you're in, the month that they're reporting. They're re-aging your account. That means that they're not going to remove that account from your credit reports until 7 years from that date. Okay, and that's not fair. So you guys want to make sure that you know this exact last day activity, that you guys can fight the creditor who was supposed to update it with the credit bureaus, and also you can fight that collection company. So just keep that in mind. Now, this date does not reset just because it's sold to a collection company. They have to abide by that date also. So make sure you understand it and keep that in mind. Now, if you guys have child support, overdue child support can stay on there for 7 years. If you guys have inquiries, usually it's 1.5 years to up to 2 years that is going to stay on your credit reports. Now, this is something when I was doing a little research just to make sure I have my dates correct, that like blew my mind. And I want you guys to really look into like what student loan you have, because student loans can stay on your credit reports for more than 7 years. Some of them can stay on there all your life. Like the Perkins loans, you guys, they can stay on there until they are paid off. So if you don't pay them off, they're on there for a life. Yes. So keep that in mind, you guys, with these student loans. And also, let's double back. Student loans that are guaranteed and insured, it's not supposed to be buy, like you're going to buy, but insured by the government. Those can report longer than the 7 years. Okay, so keep that in mind with those student loans. Now, all your other accounts, if you had like, what about this account? What about my mortgage? That can stay on there also for 7 years. Okay, so that is something that was very interesting. Hopefully you guys learned a lot about that. So now we're going to talk about reviewing the errors that's on your credit reports, knowing what's errors and what should not be reported. I'll see you guys in episode 31.